By 1989, the professional coin grading service had established itself as the dominant force in third-party coin authentication, but the industry was still finding its legs, visually, structurally, and philosophically. The earlier rattler slabs had served their purpose, but change was coming, and when it did, it came wrapped in lace. PCGS Generation 2.0, often called the Doily by collectors, debuted in September of 1989. It wasn't just a new label, it was a dramatic visual departure. The white paper label bore a distinctive repeating lace-like border, reminiscent of a Victorian doily, printed using a dot matrix printer. This design was meant to modernize and professionalize the slab, but the community wasn't quite ready. Internally, PCGS was looking to strengthen its image. The earlier labels had a utilitarian feel, but lacked flair. The new doily border gave the label a defined frame, while the introduction of a barcode signaled a step toward digital inventory tracking. For the first time, the label sometimes included the PCGS name printed at the top, though it was inconsistent. Still, the makeover was more aesthetic than functional. But Generation 2.0 wasn't just about looks. The holder itself evolved. A new plastic gasket was introduced to cradle the coin, reducing movement and noise, addressing one of the biggest complaints about the rattlers. The 4-pin weld system remained, but now the shell also included ridges to allow for stacking, another first. On the reverse, PCGS introduced a square-shaped hologram, their first attempt at a tamper-resistant feature. Gold-toned and patterned with fine text, it marked the beginning of what would become a long lineage of anti-counterfeiting measures. But collectors weren't impressed. Many felt the doily design looked unrefined, or even cheap. Some dealers joked that it resembled hotel wallpaper. The backlash was quiet, but effective. Within weeks, PCGS had already discontinued the style, transitioning to a more subdued layout in Generation 2.1. Today, Generation 2.0 is one of the shortest-lived PCGS slabs ever produced. Not many Gen 2.0 slabs were produced to begin with. The design lasted barely 2 months, and relatively few coins were encapsulated in this format. While some were later cracked out for regrades, survival numbers were always low. Today, the total number of intact Gen 2.0 holders is believed to be well under 5,000. Despite its divisive past, the doily has found redemption. Clean examples housing sought-after coins, like Morgans or Walkers, can bring significant premiums. Collectors now recognize what once seemed odd as uniquely collectible. Here's how you can spot a Generation 2.0 slab. Look for a white paper label with a lace doily pattern. Look for a similar dot matrix printing like what you saw in all the Generation 1 labels. For the first time, you will see a centered barcode at the bottom of the label. The PCGS name will sometimes appear printed at the top, although that is not always the case. There's now a plastic gasket to cradle the coin. The edges are now ridged to assist in stacking. You will find a square gold hologram on the reverse. And as with the Generation 1 labels and holders, you will find this one held together with 4 pins. So in summary, Generation 2.0 wasn't a failure, it was a test. a step toward modernization that didn't stick. But like many experiments, its rarity today makes it treasured. It's a moment frozen in time when PCGS reached for something bold and backed off just as quickly. Have you ever seen a true doily slab in person? Drop a comment. Tell us what you found. And please subscribe to the channel to continue this full journey through every PCGS generation. And follow us on Whatnot for live auctions and rare slabs like this one.